Is nationalism really on the rise in Southeast Asian countries? To answer this question, we're going to take a look at some of the most recent decisions made by Southeast Asian governments. If we take a look at everything that happened over the past, 22 months, we have seen countries like Malaysia come out with massive changes to the Malaysia My Second Home program. Program initially launched in 2002 and it was one of the most successful visa programs in history. Well, it was, but it isn't anymore. Due to the massive increases in income requirements and capital requirements, a person applying for the Malaysia My Second Home program today needs to have an income of 40,000 ringgit a month. That is the minimum threshold. You can have an income of 200,000 ringgit a month, right? Which comes down to roughly, $10,000, 8,300 euros. You need to have that income minimum to qualify for the program. Whereas before, you only need to have an income of $2,500, $2,500. It's like what? Maybe 2,200 euros. That was enough. But right now, things changed. Net worth requirements have changed. You only needed to have a net worth of 500,000 ringgit before, and now you need to have a net worth of 1.5 million ringgit. The stakes have gone up. The requirements have changed. Not for the better for the people that were looking to apply for this program. Why has the Malaysian government done this? What's the psychology behind it? Because it was a very successful visa program, so why change it? It doesn't make sense, right? And why change it during the pandemic? Well, the pandemic opened a window for change. It really did. Many governments have used the pandemic to restructure visa programs. One of the things that some officials and some media sites have confirmed is that the Malaysian government, the country, does not want any more immigrants from mainland China, Hong Kong, because there has been a massive increase in applications as well as visas issued from these two countries, mainland China, right, and Hong Kong. What the government could have done, that's just a suggestion from my end, is to set quotas, to say, what, if whatever, I don't know the exact numbers right now, I don't have in front of me. If like 30 or 40% of all the people that have obtained the Malaysia My Second Home program are Chinese, then you already know that you're getting a massive amount of applications from this country. So why not set a limit? Why not use quotas to say, in the future we only take so and so many people from mainland China, from Hong Kong, from Taiwan, because people from these three countries, right, China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan, they want to get out. People that have money in China, they don't want to live in China. Let's be honest. And the Hong Kongese, they're scared to their bones. They're scared of communist China, of all the things that are on their agenda they're going to use to take back that once so powerful jurisdiction. And it's in the making. And the Taiwanese, they're scared too. They're scared of China invading the country, so people with money, they just want to get out. Is nationalism on the rise in Malaysia? Because why would Malaysia not want high net worth individuals? Like right now, they want even higher net worth individuals. Have they increased the stake just in general to put a stricter limit on how many people will come in? Because they know a lot of people, they're not gonna deposit so much money just to get a visa. A lot of people are unwilling to do that. What's the reason behind that? Let's talk about the Philippines. The Philippines had a retirement visa program for people under the age of 35. And now you probably would say, well, why does the country even need to offer a program for people under 35? Because people under the age of 35 typically don't retire. Maybe don't have enough money, or maybe it's just unusual for such a young person to retire, right? You'd think that. And what the Philippines did, and also happened during the pandemic, was to get rid of the early retirement visa. As of right now, only people above 50 are eligible to apply for the retirement visa. Why has the Philippines done that? And why exactly right now during this pandemic? Why not earlier? Why not in 2016? Why not in 2018? The same question arises here. Is nationalism on the rise in the Philippines? The Philippines is not the most economically strong country. It's not the richest country. So why wouldn't they be happy with, people coming in that have more money than the average Filipino, because the Philippines has one of the lowest wealth per capita in the entire world. Why did the Philippines decide to do that? Well, let me give you another example. A place like Thailand. Thailand now introduced, already in 2018, the smart visas. The smart visas are pretty much for people in higher positions, executive, investors, or entrepreneurs that are looking to start a business and contribute to the economy in Thailand. Thailand has also made that step. Is Thailand looking to cut down on the lower end of the spectrum, which is probably most people that visited the country, that spent time, that lived in the country on tourist visas pre-pandemic? Is Thailand doing the same thing? Is Thailand reducing the amount of lower quality tourists? I'm not saying that, the people who go to Thailand who spend less money are lower quality, but they spend less money. So possibly in the eyes of the Thai government, those people are of lower quality. Is Thailand trying to do that as well? And Thailand has a Thai elite visa. If you want to live in Thailand as a tourist, that's pretty much the only option you have, because you can't do border runs like you could 10 years ago. You spend 30 days in Thailand, you left to Cambodia, and then you came back the same day. This stuff doesn't work anymore. This is outdated. I know some people are still discussing it. I don't know why, because it doesn't work. Right now, if you want to live in Thailand, you do need a Thai elite visa, and it's not very cheap. It's 18,000 bucks for 5 years or $32,000 for 20 years, right? So again, we're talking about people with at least a 6-figure net worth or 7-figure net worth who would be willing to spend that type of money. And why are they doing that too? There's so many examples now. Obviously, you would think inflation is part of the deal. Now that there's so much money in circulation, naturally governments are more inclined to raise prices, not only for goods and services exported to other countries, but also increasing the cost of their own visa programs to make it inflation adjusted. It does make sense. But does it make sense to exclude certain people, like we've seen in the Philippines, just to get rid of the early retirement visa altogether? Or Malaysia increasing the income requirements by pretty much 300%, asking for 300% more, same with the net worth requirements. Is it logical to suggest that Asian governments are just doing this due to inflation problems? Or is in fact the case that those governments want to do it to exclude certain people from coming into the country? What do you think about this situation? Leave a comment below and let us know. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'm uploading new videos on digital nomad locations, travel updates, and visas several times a week right now. I highly recommend that you grab a completely free copy of my ebook, Nomad Elite, the Insider's Guide to Retaining a Life of Freedom. All you need to do is click on the link below the video. And if you got some more time left, check out these videos. Thank you for watching.